Now today, good morning class. Today I will teach you the 7 C's. C. ABC, C. Write that C down. The 7 C's of communication. You've got a topic, the nature and features of communication. What are the elements that you must keep in mind when you're giving someone a message, when you're telling someone something, when you're writing something to convey a message? What are the things that you must remember? Now, in looking at all these C's, this is often a very popular question in the exam. And there are other qualities of communication or elements, but just now today we'll learn these 7. Number 1 is credibility. C-R-E-D-I-B-I-L-I-T. Write it down so that at least you remember these 7 points. So, credibility is worthy of belief. Do I believe this person? Now, only if I am believed will my message make a difference or impact you, or you will listen with attention. So, when I am communicating, I must make sure that I choose a credible messenger, a credible speaker. The person who says, now your father says your mother doesn't like it, your mother says your father doesn't like it, and if you're getting older and smarter, you might check with them. Does he really not like it? So if your mother always tells the truth, you'll believe her. If your father's always, firm and clear about what he wishes, you'll believe him. But someone, some naughty child, this has happened, you may not believe. So when you are giving a message, you must be in the position of being a credible person. And if you are using a messenger, then the messenger must be credible. An old servant gives a message in someone's house, ki Babuji ko ye chahiye, the other will believe. But you have a new servant, who's careless and whatever, and so then they will not believe. As she said it, we didn't believe it. So credibility is an important quality of the speaker, and of course only then will the receiver pay attention and do what the message has said. You must have confidence. Then the context. Now, as a teacher, I tell a lot of stories. Sometimes they may be in context or they may not be in context sometimes. So in Hindi you have this word Sandarbh Sahit Vyakhya, when you do a reference to context for literature, poems and prose and plays. So the context, you have to keep the context in mind. Say just now, it is festival time. We want to maintain communal harmony. So all our messages must to each other, ads to each other, or ads in the posters should be something that encourage brotherhood. We like Semai also, we like Kheer also. So someone is giving a sugar ad and saying the same sugar can be used to make Semai and the same sugar can be used to make Kheer, and no one is getting hurt and upset because we're talking about sweets. We're not hurting anyone. So the kind of message, if someone is talking about, Fair and Lovely, then they won't tell you about any dangers that could happen, to you for using some inferior quality product. If you use it to remove your melanin, your skin pigment that protects you from the ultraviolet rays of the sun, they won't tell, because they are wanting you to buy a product to make you look beautiful. So they won't. Sometimes some companies say, please only use company products, because they may be very careful in what they have in the ingredients, that they may not harm you, and lower or cheaper products may not be so careful. So the message that is given, you must remember the context of it. To whom are you sending it? Why are you sending it? What is the season? What is the occasion? I often, Good Friday is a day on which Jesus died. But because there's that word good attached to it, so some people send us greetings. Happy Good Friday, joy, congratulations, celebrations. It is a sad day, on a day in which we remember the death of Jesus. It's a great sacrifice that he made, but it's a day that we are sad that he had to pay such a heavy price, so much pain and suffering to save us. So now you don't understand, you don't know, you may never have heard, and so you start congratulating people for Good Friday. So it is out of context. Because you don't know the context, you don't know how to send a proper message, or anyone. I'm not talking about you personally. So credibility is one thing we must keep in mind. Context, the situation in which we are giving the message. That's, now say there's a death in the family and a barat has to come from there. So either the girls people will not tell them, let the barat come high. We won't tell them someone has died here and we can't, because expensive arrangements have been made. So we don't want to let them know, let them come. We will not talk about that dead body. So because of the context, they keep a secret that it's a wedding, it has been arranged, it has been paid for, we must organize it. The third is the content. Often very bad, words are chosen carelessly, and the message, instead of being an encouragement, is a indication or gives a direction for careless behavior. Now all the AIDS advertisements, anti-AIDS advertisements that are in Karnataka or in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, they always show a couple when they make any suggestions of good, faithful behavior. But in some states, they show a lot of young people. You do what you like, just be careful. Now that gives a wrong message. So the content of the message must always be appropriate and have some values, especially if you're a company or a person who wants to, lay emphasis on them. Then clarity. Clarity you could put right number one also. Of course, credibility is very important, but clarity means clear. Now, if the message is in a language in which you don't understand, then how will you apply it or adopt it? And that is why governments have slogans: Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Let the girl live and teach her. So just 4 words. It's clear. There's clarity that we are supporting and for the girl to survive, don't kill her, and teach her. So the tendency is, and because of that, Prime Minister has ordered toilets in all the schools, because it was believed that because there were no toilets, as girls grew older, they didn't go to college, they didn't go to school. Imagine, we didn't ever think of it. So clarity, clearness, what you want to say it clearly. Use few words, not confusing words, not double meaning words. Use few words in your message, but the message should be clear. Like we have nowadays, 2 gaj ki duri, mask hai zaruri. Wear your mask and keep a 2 meters distance. Now, even though Amitabh Bachchan tells us that morning, evening, noon and night, and other government agencies tell us that when you go to the market, everyone seems to have forgotten it. So though it's a short message, still we haven't adopted it, but that is what we have to do. Then the 5th C, there are 2 C's here: continuity and consistency. Continuity is, maybe you sent a message before of support and encouragement, so you have to continue that trend. Then only that message. Now if there's a, say, family movies, so whether we have Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, all these movies, Hum Saath Saath Hain. What does the director want to do? He wants to emphasize on the importance of family, of love, of sacrifice, of caring for each other at any cost. So that message, that is what makes us all sit down and get teary-eyed and, oh, kabhi khushi kabhi gum, jara sa laga do, and you see a few songs and you're very happy. So continuity and consistency. Now society is changing, values are changing, people are making a lot of unfortunate or difficult choices because they think they are free. But then society suffers, the family suffers, the children suffer. So these people who make these family films have to have a consistency. Even today, we need a father and mother to bring us up, to love us, to take care of us, to be faithful to each other, so that there's security in the home. So that consistency, if it's a beauty product, they want to make you look beautiful and smart. So if it's a Lakme ad, they have to keep that, oh no, we want to make you look beautiful, attractive. So that consistency must be there in a message that is being given. And channels are the ways in which that communication will reach the public. Now if it's a friend or family, you can phone them, you can send them a WhatsApp message. If you want many people to hear about it, you can make a YouTube video. If you can afford it and you have the access to media, you can have an article printed in the newspaper or even speak up on TV. So like Amir Khan used Satyamev Jayate to address many important social issues with the discussions and conversations, and real people who had suffered or who had done great work, brought them before us, and all of us put our work away at 11 o'clock and sat down to watch the program, and we learned something very important every time. So, depending on the audience that you want, like that credibility point, whom will you send with the message? You can send it through a poster, you can send it through an ad, you can send it through a phone call, you can send it through an email, but you have to choose the right channel to give a message. If it's something that you are selling, you want a wide audience. If it's a message, that is secret or that is personal, definitely you don't want to broadcast it. And the seventh is capability. Now often children find it difficult to attend and listen to an English only lecture. Unfortunately, I am the English teacher. If I teach you English and Hindi, it will be as it was up to class 12. Often we have learned English and Hindi. The teacher wanted to help us, to be kind to us, to make it easy for us. But when it is easy for us, we just relax. And so we didn't let our English muscles grow at all. And so we can't understand English when it is spoken. Of course, I hope by now, BA third year, you're better. But some of you may not be as good as you could be. So the seventh point of capability. When you're sending a message, you must remember the capability of your audience. Can they understand this message? Can they take this message? Often when someone is very sick, what do? We say, if he hears it, the child hears it, or the father hears it, they'll have a heart attack. So we just say, come, the child is sick, or the father is sick, or the mother is sick. We don't send the full message because we are afraid that the people who are hearing the message may not be able to register it. So capability of the audience, of the receiver, is a very important fact to remember when you are sending a message. Will they understand it? Will they accept it? Can they hear it? Like death everyone cannot hear. Will they be happy for it? Sometimes good news may make others jealous, and they might work against us. So credibility, context, CONTXT, content is, I think this one I didn't, I think I told you that what you write should be relevant. Then clarity is clearness, it should be clear, easy to understand. Then the fifth C is, because they are similar, they are put together, continuity and consistency. And the channels that you use, TV, media, paper, phone, WhatsApp, whatever, magazines. And the seventh is capability. So it has not been a very long class, but these are 7 important points. If you note them down, they are 7 essential features of communication. They are also, 10 commandments of communication, what you should remember when you are trying to create a message for someone else, or give someone a message, or create a poster, or create a notice, what you should do. So I will do that on my next term. So thank you. Write these down, try and explain them in your own words, and when we have offline classes, I will check your notebooks. All the best. Thank you.